Hey, quick, give me a hand. This thing's getting heavy. I'm just kidding, guys. Got the car mounted to the rotisserie, rolled over on its side, and we're just about ready to start detailing the underside of the car. Welcome to iNVision Prototypes. I'm Nick. So as you can see, it doesn't look too bad up under here. A little bit of surface rust in these areas through here. So we're gonna take the wire wheel, clean all that up. This is all the fresh metal that we put in. And we didn't just take and put in the amount that we lengthened the car. We extended back into the cross members, back into structural areas so we had meat to attach to. You can see the floor let go in the front here. Water got in through the front cowl somewhere in there. So we changed that out, cleaned that up. And yeah, so there you go. If you've never seen the underside of a car before, hit the like button. It's not something you see every day. We're gonna take these lines out, these fuel lines, brake lines, take them out. So once everything's painted and undercoated, then we're gonna start building up the body from the rockers up. We'll get the rockers attached to these flanges here and here. And it's basically a cosmetic piece. And nowadays, cars have a plastic cosmetic piece as a clip-on. And this is gonna be no different, except we're using sheet metal. It'll be welded to these flanges and roll up and attach to the door jamb area. You can also see the structural components we added to pick up the rear fenders. That's all been welded in from the top side, so we just need to finish off a few areas underneath here, down there as well. So let's get to work and get this thing done. It's not going too badly. This surface rust is coming off really nice. Any old seam sealer the factory used is going to be taken out, and we basically re-seam seal everything. Clean up these areas, touch them up wherever they need to. Before I get into that though, I want to take and get these lines out. I was just curious to see how it's going to clean up, and it's coming out really nice. Behind me here, I've got the painted, undercoated, and ready to assemble underside of the M40C build. I've just finished installing this lower rocker cover here, welded it, and seam sealed it. And now before we roll it over to the other side, we're going to take and install the brake lines, fuel lines, everything that basically runs front to back, just so it's easier and we don't have to crawl around under the car later on. Thanks for holding my gloves. Okay, so first thing is, make sure we have all the clips in place. They've been loosened off. So this is the emissions vent line. Just gotta remember how it goes in. That's why it's important to take pictures. Yeah, so it's sat just like that. Key is not to scratch things as we're putting them in. This guy's in my way a little bit. Isn't too bad. Don't want to keep falling down. Now we have one more clip that goes here. We'll get that in afterwards, just like that. There. Figure out which line went on what side. I'm assuming left line went on the left side. So this is where it used to kick up inside. But since we've lengthened the car, we need to undo these bends just a bit. I'll get that a little bit straighter in a minute, without kinking it. If you kink it, well, you gotta get another brake line. Can you guys guess what that was that fell down? Put it down in the comments. If you're paying attention, you would have seen where it came from. This pin that fell out is the strap holder. See that one, the hole's up here, so it won't fall out. But this one here, now this is going to get interesting because even though the tank is empty, yeah, still quite a bit of weight there. That's for the ABS sensor. Tucked it up out of the way. These fuel tank bolts that hold the straps are T51, so we've got everything set up for that. So I can just grab that and get them in. I think that's about right there. Yeah, not too bad. Get this hooked up over here. Get this hooked up down here. And now for the straps. Lubricated the thread so it runs well, because you don't want to be fighting it all the way. I don't mind part of the way, but I don't want to fight it all the way. And make sure the pin's still in there. Get the flex bar on here and tighten this up after. Good. And that's it. In order to spot weld this flange to the bottom pinch weld, I have to punch some holes in this. So we have a little hole puncher here. Are you ready for some confetti, metal confetti? We have to get this around the rear fender well, hook it in, get a screw in here, and then we can take and spot weld the bottom. We just wipe this down with some degreaser and just strike a line. There's some tape here. And now for some seam sealer. Now this stuff skims up fairly fast. That was an air bubble, another air bubble. Just want to get it down. Not too fancy at the moment. Just like that. And you're going to go like this, get nice and dirty. Now you'll see why the tape was applied. And you don't want to wait too long. This is the tricky part, not to get dirty right now. There we go. Okay, and we have a nice crisp line. Okay, these lines through here, we're going to tidy this up later. I have to take and kind of tweak the lines as they come up into the lines that come out of the brake booster. You don't want any tension on the fittings. So we'll get that kind of cleaned up when the car is back in the upright position. And with this seam sealed, we can now take this car, get it off the rotisserie, and put it back on the frame table and start the final assembly. Okay, so we have a few strategically placed blocks in the front and the back. Everything's been leveled out and we're just about ready to drop the car down on the frame table. Just gonna make sure we're not pinching any lines. That's clear. Probably start with the back, get the back line, bring it down. Okay, the back is resting on the table. Make sure the front is good here. And touchdown. All right, so I got the chains off at the back as well as the front. Got the body lowered down onto the table with all the appropriate spacers in place so that everything is level. As you can see, we've got the engine in. And now we're going to start with the roof structure. We're going to take the skin off and dial in that roof structure. Get all the flanges coming together properly, weld it all up, tie it into these areas here, and most importantly, get it to fit this wireframe rod up front here. This is an exact replica, actually a little bit larger than the glass to give it a bit of a perimeter. But we have to fit all the flanges to that wire frame, because last thing you want is to drop the windshield in, or try and drop the windshield in and find out it doesn't fit. So we're going to work to that at first, get everything kind of fitting to that rod, and then we'll bring the windshield in and make sure that everything works out. We're fortunate with this windshield to find an OEM glass to fit the body's curvature. Many times you can't do that. You have to cut your own glass or modify an existing windshield to fit. Here we have an OEM one that works precisely for this body shape. And there's another benefit to this. This car is being built as a driver, and in the event our client loses his windshield halfway across the country somewhere because of a stone or whatever, he can go to a glass place, he can order him a new one, and if they don't have it in stock, get it installed and get him on his way. So that's a really good thing. The back glass, the side glass, it's flat glass, it's not really an issue, but the front windshield, you have to make sure it's readily available. And then we'll start with the door shells without the skins. So we can take and mock up the templates we have for the glass, get them installed, make sure they fit the perimeter here as well as the quarter window, get all that dialed in, and then we can take them out and start preparing to have them cut. And then at that point, we can start on the quarter panels and get those installed. Because once we know everything works here, then we can start sealing things up, get the door skins on for the final time, get the quarter panels on, and then move to the front, get the front finished. So that's pretty much an overview of what we're about to do in the coming weeks. I appreciate everybody watching. See you guys next time.